Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, and today I would like to do the reading for the elemental energy of fire for the month of November 2022. And the fire signs in the zodiac are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I prefer to work with the elemental energies because it resonates with me a little bit better to work with anyway. So if you are an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, this reading is for you. And if you've had your charts done, there's actually a section on there that talks about your elemental balance. And if fire is high on that list, then this is the reading for you as well. So how I like to do my readings is we go through the entire month of whichever month it is, and this month is November. And we do a guide, a message from source, and then a lesson or challenge that we use from the tarot. And with this month, we have approximately 5 weeks, so we'll do 5 sets of those. And today I'm using the Angel Guide Oracle, the Beyond Lemuria Oracle, and the Fairy Tarot, all linked in the description below. With that, I will get started with the readings for you guys for the month of November for fire signs 2022. So let's see what the cards have to say for the angel for the first week for November 2022 fire signs. The guide or guardian angel. There we go. And for your first week, it is vulnerability and freedom. So this card is really going to tell you this first week of November is a time to tap into what makes you vulnerable. But by being vulnerable, what sets you free? And so this first week, the guide that's coming in, the angel that's coming in, and these are groups of angels with this deck. So the vulnerability and freedom, it's basically a class of angel that you can call upon. And when you do that, what is it that you need to basically feel vulnerable about with yourself, which allows you to set that free? Because your vulnerability could be something that you're ashamed of. It could be something that a weakness of some form. And what this angel's coming in to do is say, let's work through this. Let's process this. Let's find out what's going on. Let's find your freedom, because when you release those vulnerabilities and those issues, it actually allows you to have a great deal of freedom, and that's what this angel is wanting to help you discover for yourself. So your message from source is beyond the mind. The mind moves us through the logistics of life so we can function in the world. However, endless mental chatter, self-doubt, limiting stories, and subconscious programs can keep us on our suffering. Step outside the mind-based limitations. Looking at things in an overly logical way will hinder and obstruct access to your superpowers. The past may be running you and making your mind so that you cannot see what's really in front of you. Sorry. Consider what your heart and your gut are telling you. What would the situation at hand feel like if it was released of all fears and worries, and are these concerns really yours? So you have the angels coming in for this first week saying, let's work through some of this vulnerability and let's find your freedom. And the message from source is, let's do this. You have this angelic card, really, coming in, and you've got a almost flower of life, which is a Metatron symbol. So you might work with him this week. But it's really tapping into, what is it that I'm not needing anymore? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, processing through some of these things and allowing them to be freed is going to be the best benefit for you this first week of November. So let's look at what the tarot has to say for any lesson, challenge that you may have for this first week of November. There we go. And it is the Four of Autumn. Manage your resources wisely. Achieve a balance in how you spend and save. Help out those who are less fortunate. So during this time, it's really about tapping into this first week, finding your vulnerability, finding ways to work through it, and finding that freedom. And what this card is saying is your resources are not just financial. It could be your time in how you go to work versus home. What is where is your value at? What do you place as value? And how to really find the balance again with that. And when you're going along that, when it says help those who are less fortunate, it doesn't always mean financial. Sometimes cracking a joke when someone's really feeling down, or being a shoulder to cry on when they are feeling depressed and they just need to vent it out, be that listening ear, and that is something that you can do to actually help others who are less fortunate. Because as you're going through this first week, you're really releasing some vulnerabilities. You're trying to work through your own mess or drama, if you will. And what this card is saying is, when you do that, you uplift yourself, and by doing so, you allow that gift to radiate out. And so basically it's pay it forward. So when you figure out and discover these secrets, and if someone comes to you and is like, I'm struggling with fill in the blank, and it's something that you've already worked through, then it's time for you to share how you processed it and what to do next. So let's move on to the second week of November, which is your guide or guardian will be a power and intention angel. So you've worked through this first week with getting rid of some vulnerability, really discovering your freedom. Now the second week is about stepping back into your power, living your life in an intention-based state. So when you start working with these angels, it may feel a little bit weird, and this angel is going to come in to say, hey, we can work with this. Stepping into your power is not being selfish. Stepping into your power does not mean becoming narcissistic. Stepping into your power means this is what I'm going to do. My yes means yes, my no means no. And so you're setting intentions with that, taking back of your power. And this angel is going to help show you how to set intentions, how to work with those intentions once they are set, and how to release them to source so that they can manifest in the most pure and perfect way. So really start on the second week to live intentionally. So make your decisions, make your choices in a conscious state versus just this is what I always do, this is the way it's always going to be. Start making conscious decisions through this second week. So your message from Source is your unique gifts. We all have gifts to bring to the world. If we all did what we truly excel in and enjoy, our talents and abilities would enable others in the community and our planet to thrive. If you haven't connected with your purpose, look at your quirks and what they are telling you. What makes you unique? Look for the positive side of the oddities and traits. Things you have considered as shortcomings might actually be qualities that enable your gifts. Are there things you would like to try or feel pulled to explore? Now is the time to follow these whispers. You never know what they might lead. So you have power and intention as your guide group for this week. And the message is really about let stepping into your power and living intentionally help you discover your unique gifts. If you already have discovered them and don't know how to work with them or don't know how to make it part of your lifestyle, then really tap into these power and intention angels and be like, okay, I've got this. How does this work for me? How does this benefit me so that I can help others? How does this work into my life so that I don't feel like I'm the odd man out? So these are some journal prompts you can use if you would like to go that route. But this unique gifts is really about accept and embrace the quirky parts of you, not the negative stuff. Don't do that. But if it's something that is just people look at it and it's like, really? That's what you got going? That doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. That could be you're shining a light on some of their insecurities without even meaning to. But that is part of our learning and growth period, is understanding that just because someone else doesn't understand why we are the way we are, that doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean you have to change. It does mean that you need to examine and find out what's going on. And that's what these angels can work with the second week with. So let's look at the tarot message for the second week of November. It is the Ace of Spring. It is time to take action, be fearless and happy, pursue your most treasured dreams, and amazing career opportunities. So you've got the power and intention angels coming up. Your message from Source is embrace your unique gifts. And now you have the Ace of Spring. This is a time of birth and regrowth. This Ace is the beginning of any of the tarot. The springtime is a period where life is waking back up. So by tapping into these unique gifts and really working through living intentionally, starting to step into your power, the second week is about beginning something new. And your challenge or your lesson for this second week is, what is it that you want to build? What is it that you've been looking at and you're like, oh, I should wait. Oh, I can't do that right now. Oh, I'll never have the time. Is this something that you need to work with intentionally to say, I'm setting aside a half an hour every single day this week to work with this project I want to do? Is it, what is this unique gift that I have? Like, I like to cook really quirky things. I like to cook stuff using mochi flour or something like that. Really figure out what it is that are your unique gifts. And this Ace of Spring is saying your lesson or your challenge for this second week is starting the new again. You're tapping into something that could be a career change. It could be just a side hobby that brings in a couple bucks, or it could be something that you do as a charity thing, but you're helping other people discover who they are. So the second week is really about tapping into your gifts and living intentionally, and then also learning how to start that next thing that you may have been feeling very strongly in the back of your mind. So let's look at the third week of November, and let's see what the message or is this time. It is Harmony and Resolution Angels. So you're working through vulnerability and finding freedom in the first week. The second week, you're tapping into your power and you're living intentionally with those angels. This third week is, you've done this work, you've kind of developed some unique gifts, you might be working through really understanding what those mean, and you're starting something new in the second week. This third week is, you've started to shake things up a little bit. But remember, the shake-up can always be rebalanced and finding harmony. Harmony is about being in flow, being in the choir of the universe. So these angels are coming in to say, let's resolve the things that you kind of got stirred up in the first week. Let's get those, let's end those. Those are over, clear them out, we're done here. But the harmony part is, now that that's out of the way, let's fill it with something that's going to flow a little bit better. You've worked with power and intention, discovering unique gifts in the second week. Let's bring that into a cohesive whole. Let's refine that balance and refine the grounding. So the second week is really about tapping into that type of energy, finding your balance again, and using the angels of harmony and resolution to basically ground the new energy that you've developed into this period of time. So your message from Source is your sacral chakra. Get this over here. It is the core of creation. Revel in the present moment and feel deeply into your senses. The sensuality of being alive, the breeze on your skin, the scent of earth, the feeling of aligning perfectly into the temple that you call your body. This card is about diving into the depths of the present moment where all your faculties are available for the creation. Nothing is left in the past or caught in the future. All of who you are is in the moment of ecstatic conception. Let yourself drop into your passion, intimacy, and loving connections with whatever you are birthing into your world and with whomever you've chosen to co-create. So the second week was stepping into your power, living intentionally, and starting something new. The third week, you're finding the harmony again. You're resolving those issues and finally releasing them. And your message from Source is, a lot of the things that we anchor in, especially day-to-day lives, are in our root and sacral chakra. This card is saying, really tap into and work with your sacral chakra. It is basically where your sacrum is on your back. It's in the middle of your body at that point. So your sacrum is the back part of the sacral chakra, and the front part is generally just below your belly button or your navel. So working with that energy, which tends to be a vibrant orange, and if it's not vibrant orange or a vibrant color in general, really start to bring in what is going on. What is blocking me? Is there something that's keeping me from enjoying my senses? When they use the term sensuality, it doesn't always mean in a bedroom way. It generally means, what are you doing that's blocking your senses? Like when you pet your dog, do you enjoy the sensation of their fur on your fingers? When you're cooking, do you take in the smells? Do you enjoy the sight of what you're cooking? And then when you taste, do you smell, taste, enjoy the textures? All of these things are part of being tapped into your senses. So the message from Source is, really bring your energy back into your body. Bring it back down. Get out of your head and put it back where it's supposed to be, which you're in your body. your whole body. So live there. Enjoy what's going on. The temple of your body is a gift from God's source energy for us to experience and enjoy this life. And so tapping in this third week to your sacral chakra is a good way to really bring that reality back that this is your temple. This is where you're supposed to live. So enjoy it. So your message from the tarot, or your lesson or challenge, is the 3 of Winter. Reach out to others for comfort and love. You will grow stronger in the situation. Sadness that will heal with time. So when you're working with these resolution angels, you might start to come across a little bit of sadness that needs to be worked through. And when you're working with the chakras in general, sometimes, especially if you're new to working with this energy, you're going to find it a little bit more difficult to work on yourself. And that's where having a facilitator, someone who does energy work, is something that would benefit you. And so reaching out to be like, I am struggling with this depression. Can you at least perk me up? I'm having a rough day. To resolve these issues, tapping into your senses, I'm feeling kind of bummed out. Is there something, find somebody you trust, obviously, that can help you work through some of these issues. Go to an energetic healer if necessary to help process out some of this stuff. And a lot of the times you may not be consciously aware of what's being released when you work with energy healers, but you're going to notice a difference in your shoulders relax, your back lets go. And with the chakra energy, it could be just the fact that you suddenly feel more alive than you did before. But that's the message, is really, if you feel like you're struggling, it's okay to reach out. And this card is saying, actually, it'd be better if you did reach out. So let's look at the 4th week's guide or guardian. And the angel energy you're working with for this 4th week is take a step back. So these are the angels of rest and recuperation. So you've been doing a fair amount of work this month, fire signs, and because you've worked through vulnerability, you've kind of figured out what you need to let go of, you've stepped into your power, you're living intentionally, you're finding a new balance, you're starting to live more in harmony with yourself, with God, with everyone around you, and you've kind of been putting a lot of things out there. These angels are saying, but don't forget the self-care. You're doing all the work, but you need to also take time for play, step away from the busyness, step away from the chaos. And during this week, I believe is the 4th week of November would be Thanksgiving anyway. So you're going to be around a lot of family and a lot of intenser energy, just because get-togethers of big groups can be a little bit intense. So just remember that if you start to feel overwhelmed this 4th week, it's okay, and these angels will come in to be like, let's go outside. Let's go take a minute. Just find the quiet time to reground, recenter, and to take the breaks that you need when you need them. It's not a bad thing to be like, I just need a minute to catch some air. Go do that. And these angels can help you find the ways to say that, or find ways to actually do the self-care that's necessary. So the 4th week's message from Source is life force energy. Revel in the bliss of being alive. This card is packed with luminous life force energy for optimal health and healing. As much as it is possible, seek joy and upliftment in everything that you do. Consider the foods you eat, the environment you spend time in, the people you're around, and what you wear. Increase your awareness of how these things come to be in your world and their energetic resonance with you. You may be inspired to work with healing energies, with land, perhaps grow vegetables, probably not in the fall in the northern hemisphere, and you are encouraged to joyously make your life a piece of Eden. As a result, you will shine in your reality. So what's really coming up is when you take that step back and you take those needed breaks, especially during this 4th week, it allows you to really start to feel the energy. You worked with your sacral chakra in the 3rd week, and that was to really tap you back into your body, bring you back in, ground you into this now moment. And now this card is saying, now enjoy it. You brought it all in. What are you creating? What are you doing differently? And doing something that works with plants, living plants. And personally, for me anyway, when I hear of life force energy, it means having something living around you. Cut flowers are great, but they do have a tendency to die. And so they're their life force is kind of draining as you watch them, which isn't always the best thing. So getting a live plant, starting something from seed even, and cactus are great because sometimes they'll spring up in 3 days, sometimes they take as long as 60 days. But then you have a long-term plant that if you're really bad at keeping plants alive, and I have a lot of friends that have this problem, and that's why they have cactuses, you can forget to water that thing for weeks, and they'll still be all right. So finding a way to tap into that life force, going outside where there's living water. Living water is water that's moving, that's not stagnant, that's not algae covered, stuff that's moving. If you're in a situation where it's warm, do that. Ocean is great to tap into life force energy. Going out where there's something being born, something growing, really gets you into that life energy. And if you work with your sacral chakra in that 3rd week, this 4th week is going to really light you up in the good way, not in the bad way. And that's what you want to really work with. And you have the angels of taking a step back, meaning take self-care. Do things that are for you, that are only for you during this week, when necessary. I mean, don't give up on your responsibilities like the house, the kids, the job, things like that. But take 5 minutes and enjoy your coffee alone or your tea. Just take the time, but do it in a way that you're tapping into your body and listening to it. So your message or your challenge or your lesson is the 3 of autumn. Follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do. Be compensated for your talents. So during the 2nd week, you're tapping into this new creative energy. You're beginning something new. This 3rd week, you want to reach out for others and get the support that you're looking for. And this 4th week is when you do the beginning and get things started, reach out for help when is necessary. And this 4th week is saying, make sure when you are doing it, if you're doing it for like a business, a side business, or even transferring a job, make sure you're being compensated for the things that you're doing. If you take a job where you're getting paid less, but you're expected to do more creatively, that's not compensation, and that's not going to benefit you. You want to make sure that when you do something that it is a balance of give and take. You're giving creativity, they're compensating you accordingly, and knowing your value and know your worth. I've been hearing a lot about that lately, and people are struggling with it because they don't understand that you put time and effort into something that is worth some kind of a compensation. And this card is saying your challenge or your lesson for this 4th week is, how are you being compensated for the things that you do? And that doesn't mean to, get a big ego either, but look at what you're doing, the time it takes, how much effort it takes, and make sure that there is, a give and take balance that goes along with that. So let's look at the 5th week of November for fire signs 2022. It is the angels of your guardian angel class. So everyone has a recording angel and a guardian angel given to them at birth. When your soul comes in, these are the angels that have agreed to work with you through your entire life. Other ones will come in and out usually, but your guardian angel and your recording angel, which records everything that you do, every thought, all of it. And it just goes into the Akashic records so that there's a continual pattern of what your life has been for the eternity of your soul. Your guardian angel, though, is there to protect you. It's to keep you out of harm's way. Not always physical harm. A lot of the times it's making sure that you don't end up in situations where you get damaged in a massive way. We all have freedom of choice, so it doesn't really, you still have the choice. It's not like this angel is going to take away your choice. But when you read about people who've had really bad car accidents where they should have not lived through it, and mysteriously they ended up out of the car with only a minor bruise, it's because their guardian angel was there. So this 5th week is really about tapping into that guardian angel and finding out, are there things in your life that are basically not doing good things for you, that might be harming you on a spiritual sense or even in a physical sense? Is there something that needs to be let go of? Is there something that you need to do to increase your vibrancy and resiliency? And so tapping into that guardian angel with this 5th week energy is really about finding out what is it that you need to do to just be a little bit more better prepared, if you want to use that term. Winter's coming up. Is there something that you need to get ready before snow comes in the northern part of the world? or is it something that you need to work on just to prepare yourself in general? But this 5th week is really about tapping in and talking to your guardian angel. So your message from Source is the Portal Keeper, little Bast there, the Egyptian goddess. Portals are gateways to other layers of reality. They can be accessed through inner practices or externally in places such as the planet's vortices. Gently explore at the edge of your existence. Spend time listening to the forest. Deepen your meditation practice. Dance yourself into ecstasy. Explore your psychic tools. And study new healing modalities. If you feel lacking in purpose or life seems a little mundane, remember there's never a reason to be bored. What we experience with our physical senses is just the tip of the very large iceberg. Magic exists wherever you care to find it. Look between the lines to limitless discovery. So you have your guardian angel, you're working with your guardian angel, you're making sure that you've got your barriers up and your boundaries are set, and so now it's time to start exploring. When you have your angel and you're working with your guardian angels and your guides in a close way, they will guide you to things that might be beneficial and might be a little uncomfortable to start with, but it's usually because it's that growth period. You may not remember when you were growing up, you would have what was called growing pains, where your bones were growing really fast and your body was trying to adjust to it, and you'd have, the aches and the joints hurt, and you couldn't figure out why you were hurting. But the growth process at times can be uncomfortable and may cause, some form of pain. Well, you have portal keepers. Your guardian angel can actually be one of them, helping you find the right path and sometimes giving you the nudge you need to go down that new path, but that can be an uncomfortable experience. And what this card is saying is really be okay with the changes that could be coming and start to explore a little bit. If it's something you've been questioning, especially if it's a spiritual principle or some kind of, they're bringing up artistic things that you're trying to figure out, is it painting? Well, painting's intimidating. I can't do that. Why? This card is saying explore it. Find out what's going on. You might actually be really good. You might have to work at it a little bit, but you might find your niche through something like that. But you're using your guardian angel to make sure that you're not wandering down, some dark path is a good way to start exploring those portals and be like, what do I need to learn? What's the next step? And what can you do to help guide me to that next area? So your lesson or challenge from the tarot for this 5th week of November is the Queen of Summer. Loving, comforting, emotional, and intuitive. Listen to your heart. Intuitive insights you can trust, and taking care of others may be too much. So this card is really telling you, at this point, you have done a lot of work, you've done a lot of growth, and it's time to really start to tap into your intuition. You have your guardian angel coming in to work with you a lot this week. You're looking at different ways of looking at life through the portals, and this card is saying, follow your heart. What is it that lights you up? What is it that catches your attention? Be open to these new ideas and concepts is the lesson for this 5th week. And you may end up having bursts of insight where you're doing something completely different, washing the dishes, and all of a sudden you have this sudden urge to go pick up yarn and a crochet hook. You've never done it in your life. You are going to sit down with YouTube and figure it out. Then that's the next step. But follow those little intuitive bumps. And when it says taking care of others, what they're talking about is overgiving, where you give so much because you want to make sure everyone's taken care of, and you have to be the one that does all of the work because you don't want them to, either mess it up or you don't want them to have to struggle. This card is saying, step back. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is let the person slip. Let the person fall on their face. When you have a little kid around, when they're learning how to walk, they're going to fall down. But that's how they learn. Be there to help them get back up, but let them have those experiences. And stepping back and being intuitive about it, being like, no, if I interfere right here, they're never going to learn this lesson, and they need to learn that. Following those intuitive bumps is what this lesson and challenge is for this 5th week. So, hopefully this reading resonated for the fire energy and fire signs for the month of November. If you guys like what I am doing here with this channel, you can go ahead and subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed this type of content. If you have any questions or comments or even things that I could do better, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. The only thing I ask is just make sure we're being respectful. Everyone can use a bit more respect in the world we live in today, and the more respect we give out, the more we usually receive. So, I hope you all have an awesome month of November, and I will see you in the next video.